Here's another type of differential equation which we can have a go at solving. This one you can't separate the variables because of this addition, so you can't get the x, multiply the x up because we're multiplying to that term as well, so it's not possible to separate the variables as we've done previously. And here we're going to use what's called an integrating factor, which seems rather arbitrary and seems rather messy, but solves it. So what we're going to do is we're going to find an integrating factor, which is done by integrating whatever it is that's multiplying the y, which can be a function of x. So we integrate it dx, and we do e to the power of that. Why? Well, because it works. And with that integrating factor, if we multiply through this equation by the integrating factor, it turns into this equation. So we don't actually have to go and manually do the multiplication. We just go straight to this step. But I'm just going to use this space to show you that it does work. And then we'll do an example using the integrating factor and this formula. So this thing here, you're given on your formula sheet. So all you need to do is work out the integrating factor and then bung everything into this equation, and it comes out reasonably easy. But just for this stage, I want to show you how it actually works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this equation through by this thing here. So I'm going to get e to the integral of p dx times dy by dx plus this thing here, which is yp, but it's py, but I write it around the other way, times p dx, just so you can see what I'm doing, and that's going to equal q times the same thing, e to the integral of p dx. Okay, now the trick here is that this side is just a written out version of a product rule. It's the first thing times the derivative of the second thing times the first one times the derivative of the other bit. So this bit is the derivative of this bit, and this bit is the derivative of that bit. So that's just a product rule. So what I'm saying is that if we differentiated those two things multiplied together, yep, that's the same as that, because this is a product rule. So the derivative of that one times that one plus that one times the derivative of that one. And that equals what we're left with on this side. Okay, now to undo this d by dx, I need to integrate this. So if I integrate both sides, on this side I'll just end up with y e to the integral of p dx. So I'm just basically integrating that dx, and that equals the integral of this side dx. And that's y times the integrating factor equals the integral of q times the integrating factor dx. And that is this thing here. So as I said before, you don't actually need to be able to go through this process, but you do need to be able to recognize when you've got something that looks like this, that you can use this integrating factor. So the first thing you're going to have to do is work out the integrating factor. So integrate the p and raise it to the power of e, and then put it into this formula to make it work. So in the next video I'll show you how to do it with an example.